I've seen the comments. I can't believe, I actually cannot believe this. And we need to be real about this for a minute. I can't believe that you might expect me not to see these comments that you've been leaving on my videos. It's insane. Like, that as a proposition is so detached from reality. And I've got to say, I've been loving every minute of it because those comments have been so positive and they've been so encouraging recently about these videos that I've been doing. Yeah, you're not on the naughty step. Don't worry, chat. It's all good. I figured I would just, juke you a little bit there for the start of the video. I've been seeing a lot of mega positive comments recently about this stuff that I've been putting out in the last week or two. And I just got to say, thank you. As someone that's not been making a huge amount of COD content this year, to come back into that kind of headspace and to be just sort of dipping into a couple of different formats, like the hour-long whiteboard video, these sorts of videos on the beta, the video I posted yesterday on Black Ops 4, there's just been so much love. And I just wanted to say thanks, basically, from the bottom of my heart, because you never know with the COD community. Sometimes the COD community, what was that? That person just like dabbed as they ran away? Bro, what was that? They were like getting sturdy with it on their exit from the favela. Ooh, okay, I will not be doing the same thing. So yeah, thank you. And honestly, like all of the likes you've been leaving on the videos and the positive comments and stuff is working in your favor here, because it's a very encouraging sign to me to keep making content like this. Like I can't stress enough as a content creator, like there's ideas for stuff that I want to do, right? That I can't do, or I can't reasonably do just from a sort of business perspective, because I don't think that the thing is going to work. Like my heart might be in it, but if the views aren't there or whatever, then to some extent I have to be at the mercy of, bro, I'm your friend. Relax. Bro. Rest in peace. Oh my God, Captain Price cleaning up. To some extent, I have to be at the mercy of those sorts of market dynamics, right? Oh, this is a spot. This is actually a nasty, well, if I could aim, it would be a nasty spot. He's gonna... Pricey. All right, I'm out. I'm dipping it. Oh, there's someone up there as well. Oh God, what have I got myself into, guys? Oh God. Oh what am I gonna do? We're gonna smoke grenade it. It's a stun grenade. It's a flash grenade. It's a something. It didn't even go in. Oh, I'm getting busted up from I don't even know where. Hello? Oh my. Hello? Oh. So you leave likes on these sorts of videos. You leave positive comments. You better believe you're going to see more of these videos. My God, that man was out for blood. The reason I've been not posting for the last couple of days is because yesterday, with the MW3 Beta came back and like exciting, woo, high rises in it. Yeah, let's jump in with search and destroy, etc. I was at a funeral, and I haven't really been to many funerals as an adult in my life. In fact, I think it's basically been like 2, and it was a difficult day for me yesterday because it wasn't like a personal family member of mine, but it was a family. All right, I'm leaving. It's gonna be my funeral otherwise. It was like a close family friend basically, and still like that doesn't take away from how sort of difficult that kind of thing is, right? But it was really tough for me because like as a kid, you go to a funeral and I think you have like kid-sized emotions about what death even is, right? You don't necessarily, unless maybe I don't want to speak for everyone, maybe if it's been very present in your life, you're sort of more in tune with this sort of thing, or you've had to think more about it or whatever. But as someone that has been very lucky to not have that really like haunt them through their life, I as a kid didn't really get it. Death was always like a super sad thing of like someone leaving and they're not coming back, and I understand that obviously, but the impact I suppose of like who's left behind and things along those lines was something that as a kid I really wasn't fully considering. But now as an adult, oh Jesus, you scared me. Oh, I scared him as well. As an adult, I've sort of got to this point where I've got to like process this stuff more deeply, and also really try and be there for those people that are struggling with being left behind in a big way. And I think that happens even more when it's like an older person that's passed away, because when you're, let's say, in your like 70s or 80s, why am I in slow motion? At that age, when you go, so much of your circle is also really old. And like I've got grandparents who've had so many of their friends and family just dying around them, and it's tragic, and it's really painful stuff, because my granddad, him being in a position where he sort of slowly but surely becomes the last person in his friend group. Like that's so tragic. That's just such a sad thing. Being the first one to go, sort of figuratively, at least means that you don't gradually, bit by bit, have all of your kind of circle just leave and leave you remaining. Like that in itself is such a... Is there a... Pricey is here. I see him. Oh, hello. Hello. That in itself is such a difficult thing to deal with, a difficult fate to navigate, right? And it happened in a big way to my granddad who passed away a couple of years ago. He was in this position where he just basically lived a really long time, and that was amazing and wonderful. But so many of the people that he had found community with and the sort of tribe that he had found over the years, they passed away like several years before he did. And it meant that he was just sort of like, well, my people are gone. So when that happens, how do you re-find community age like 80? Like that's so hard. And another example of this, what the hell are you doing? I have so many questions. And another example of this, like I want you to, oh, hello. Cute. I want you to put yourself in this kind of headspace, like just sort of visualize this for a moment for me, okay? Let's say you and a friend know each other from school and you know each other your entire lives, and there's like something that you and that friend always like disagree about. And it's a friendly disagreement, but it's like, it's ever present, you know? An example I could think of is maybe one friend is always like, oh yeah, like my buddy Jack, he was like such a nice guy. And he used to like buy me lunch every single day because he's just such a good guy. And then Jack is like, well, actually, Steve, what was really happening there is that you were pressuring me into it the entire time and I felt bad for you, so I had to do it, right? And they've just got this like friendly camaraderie back and forth. At some point, either Jack or Steve is going to pass away. And if like your friends all your life, like you're going to keep that little silly, pointless argument up all your life. But then eventually, like one person is going to become the historical record of like the truth there. Like one person is going to have their version of the events last and persist. And I think that is so sad. Like it's meaningless. It's one of those silly things that like, why does that matter? It doesn't matter if it was out of generosity or if it was out of pressure or like some goofy, silly argument, right? It makes no difference. History will not be impacted at all by event A or event B. Whichever it is, it's no big deal. But it's sad to me that silly, friendly banter and that like tension that you kind of falsely perpetuated over the years is actually just erased. And instead it's just like, no, actually, the way things are, like there's no one to push back on Jack's story once Steve is gone. And I don't know, there's something about that to me that is so deeply, deeply sad in a really, really big way. And I've been thinking just a lot about those sorts of things in these past 24 hours, man. And it's, wait, is that a sentry gun? Oh my God, they've got sentries in this game. So trying to sort of like grapple with a lot of those sorts of emotions and feelings as an adult, it's been hard for me, man. Like I lost a lot of sleep last night, really just like chewing on a lot of these sorts of ideas, because again, it's not something that has really affected me much as an adult. And so now to have that really at the forefront of your mind and be like, oh wow, there's so much I didn't realize about this previously. It's been keeping me up. Oh God, it's Rust. My ability to concentrate is going to be so destroyed by playing Rust. I apologize in advance. It's going to be tough. It's difficult at the best of times. I'm really trying to get better at this, but Rust, I know, is just so difficult because it's so frantic all the time. Speaking on the sort of the topic of this stuff though as well, there are people in the zombies community that we've lost over the years. Like I've been making YouTube videos 14 years now. And in that time, a huge number of people have moved on, they've lost interest, whatever, and that's totally like, yeah, makes sense, right? But there are also just a lot of people that have passed on, and it's really sad. There's one viewer of mine, and I won't name any names here out of respect, really, just for the situation, but there's one reviewer of mine who I basically recorded some like a birthday message for type thing a little while ago, and then I found out like a year later that he had passed away, and I was just like, bro, that's like, there are so many of you, obviously, but it's easy, I think, sometimes to kind of convince yourself like, oh, okay, yeah, like if I get like 100K views on a video, 100K is just a number. It's when you start saying like, yeah, 100,000 people, that's Wembley Stadium numbers. Like it's that size. Then you're like, oh, right, okay, that's a hell of a lot of actual humans, right? But until you start doing that, 100K can just look like a statistic, you know? And, oh God, I hate people that go up there. I do that a lot, but Yeah. And so it's when you hear those sorts of stories that you're just like, oh my God, like every single individual person watching this, and it sounds like a silly revelation to have, right? But hopefully you can understand and empathize with my situation. There's no way I can keep 100,000 people's fully formed identities and selves in my brain. Like there's no, like a human being can't do that. But it's in those moments where you're really confronted with someone's humanity and that reality. You're just like, oh my God, I'm so sad. Like, I mean, there's obviously nothing I could have done, but still, when someone passes away that you know, you're always kind of questioning, like, could I have done something, or is there a way I could have helped? You have those doubts about yourself, or those doubts about the way that you act, or like maybe I could have hung out with them more, maybe we could have known each other better, like whatever, right? And so it's just like another form, I think, of grief to process when it's not someone you even know, but it's still, we shared such an important connection through this game and this love of this franchise and the struggles that we go through in enjoying the franchise together, the ups and the downs. The roller coaster is the journey, you know what I mean? And so I've been trying to process that recently and really trying to kind of find peace with the fact that ultimately life is super finite. And I'm obviously not making any kind of groundbreaking statement there. It's literally just to say this has been really on my mind recently, more so than it ever normally is. And I don't know, is this sort of what getting older is like? Is this just going to be increasingly the case for the rest of my life now, where all these wonderful people that I've got to know gradually, bit by bit, the passage of time is going to accelerate and you're going to start losing people? I worry about that because I love my friends and I love my family and the people around me, but there's just been several like events recently in my life where I'm just like, damn, it's really precious, and I don't think you necessarily can fully appreciate that as a kid. My God, why is the entire world there? No lethal equipment? Well, that's great, isn't it? It's not all bad though. Like I think within that feeling of like, wow, this is so scarce, there's real beauty in that too. I think the fact that we have any time together itself is a joy, right? And is there a person here? Hello. Second one as well. Third one as well. I think trying to really be mindful of that scarcity and to sort of say, well, sure, if our time is finite and like you're only going to see your best friend a specific number of times before you die. Like that's a crazy thought, right? And it's the same with your parents. Like I saw this post on Twitter a little while ago, and it was said something like, once you sort of leave school, right, and like you move out from home, you're probably going to see your parents a decent amount in the first couple of years after you leave, but then you're maybe going to get more invested in what like work you're doing and those sorts of things, and you're going to get in a position where you start seeing them maybe like once every few months, and then as time goes by more, maybe you move to another country or your career changes, you get even more busy, maybe you start seeing them like once every 6 months or something. But then it's like, hold on, once you're like 30, your parents are probably getting decently old. And if you're only seeing them, what, let's say a decent amount, like six times a year or something, 10 years, that's 60 times that you're going to see them before they go. And 60 doesn't feel like a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like 60 feels pretty small to me. That feels like a very limited number. And then you think, okay, well, we've only got 60 good summers like on this planet. That's crazy as well. Like obviously like life expectancy is what, like 80 or something like that. And I feel like it's increasing pretty regularly because advances in medicine and all those wonderful things. Oh, was that an enemy? No, that was a teammate. But still, like just because like sometimes you're going to be ill, sometimes you're going to be occupied with work, sometimes things are going to come up, you'll be going through like a breakup or whatever it might be. Who is this man just folding himself? That is some serious contortion if ever I've seen it. So take those summers out. Yeah, like what? 60 good summers and then you're done. And like that's a scary thought, man. And again, I'm not trying to be too sort of down on everyone here, but I'm just saying as a recent funeral attendee, like these are the sort of things that I'm thinking about recently and trying to process. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What is it that you guys do to kind of really anchor yourself on the beauty of life and the positive of life, right? The whole kind of quote attributed to Camus, but I think often misinterpreted, I would argue, that the whole question of of like one must imagine Sisyphus happy, right? This idea that if you don't kind of enjoy the struggle of life, if you don't enjoy that, then what else is there to do? That is your only path to happiness. Otherwise, you're faced with this eternal kind of torment that you're having to go through in living. So like you must imagine Sisyphus happy, and you must be able to find happiness within that struggle and that monotony and that rhythm. So we all do it every day. I wake up, I'm like, am I going to go to the gym today? If I go to the gym, I have a good time. If I'm on a rest day, I try and do something else to like get myself moving a little bit, stay active, stay present, and like trying to eat nice food every day and trying to have good experiences every day, whether it's with your friends or whether it's through your work or whatever it might be. These are all ultimately things that boil down to repetitive like rituals of our lives. And I think all of us get a lot of happiness from those. But at the same time, they're sort of limited in our own very human way. People say like, chase your dreams. Like I see YouTube videos about this, and it's almost, I don't know, like being cynical for a moment. Like it's almost scary, the I chased my dreams for a year and here's what happened kind of videos. I'm not calling out anyone in specific here. I'm just saying I see those sorts of videos a lot, and it's interesting because it's always defining the chasing of a dream as detaching from real life. It's like, okay, well, in order to chase my dream, I've got to quit my job and go and travel the world for a full year without any of my friends and any of my family, and build a new life with no kind of dependency and entirely outside of the structure that I was kind of born into. That often seems to be what chasing dreams means to people. And I think that probably says a lot about society and about the capitalist coil that we find ourselves in, because if your dream is so far from what your day-to-day life is, like how will you ever be happy? Or how could you even find contentment in that when people are saying to you so often, yeah, like happiness is chasing your dreams in Malaysia? It's like, bro, what if my dream is to build a really strong unit here? Like what if I don't need to escape this? But I think so many people do need to escape it, and that's sad, obviously, and that's why those videos do so well, is because people are looking for a way out of their experiences so often. And I get comments like this from you guys a lot, where you sort of say sorts of things like, hey Milo, like I've been having a tough time this year, or I've had an injury that I'm recovering from, or things like that, but putting on a video from you just sort of in the background just helps me kind of think about other stuff for a bit. Like it just gives me something else to focus on. It distracts me a little bit, and I love being able to provide that space for you guys and to open up that opportunity for you. I mean, that's a joy to feel like I'm contributing in that kind of way for you all. Oh god, I'm gonna get turned on here. Oh, apparently bunny hopping is not the way to go in this game. Thank God. But at the same time, I'm like, what is it that needs to happen for the system? Why are you lying down there? The systemic difficulty that causes that in the first place to go away. Like, what is it? Like, is there even a singular systemic kind of form that is causing that? Is it just the fact that everyone is slaving away at their 9-to-5s and they're not content with the sort of level of wealth that they do have? Maybe they're struggling to put food on the table, or maybe they just feel like they don't have enough. I think that feeling of not having enough is something that haunts so many people. So like, is there a way that can be improved or something? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. And so sure, I can make a bunch of YouTube videos and try and entertain people, right? And oh my god, you are a little dirty rat. I've got to chase him down. I've got to find this little rat that's going to go right through the doorway and be useless. He's behind the box. He's behind the box. I knew he was behind the box. God, I've played High Rise enough times to know that you get the kill in the little doorway and then you receipt. Oh my god, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm alive. I'm good. Okay. I'm calm again. Life is good. Okay, hold on. Where is this little rodent? He's not there. Where is he? His name is like Pudgy or something. I'm just going to pre-fire it. Okay. Oh, all right. Yep. Give me more equipment. Grenade, please. Let's go! So yeah, I know this has been probably a bit of a left field video from me, because I'm talking about a lot of stuff that I would never normally talk about in a YouTube video, but it's just stuff that's been on my mind and that I'm processing right now, you know? And you asked for more kind of casual videos of me just dropping my thoughts out. So here they are. Let me get this guy. No, oh my god, what's his name? Parksy? You're my nemesis now, buddy. I'm sorry, but it's on site for Parksy. What's the dustbin doing? Where are you, Parksy? Where are you? Is he? He's in the... Oh my god, Scats as well, you little worm! Why is the score limit? Oh, they won. I was like, why is the score limit 66? It's not. They just won. So honestly, like I would love to hear it. Like, what is it that first of all that you guys do to sort of find that happiness in your life in that day to day, and just like what brings you joy? Maybe that's the kind of question that I'm getting at here. What do you derive joy from, and do you feel like joy for you is kind of held at a distance beyond the reaches of your sort of day-to-day existence right now? Because I think that's what that chasing of the dream kind of culture is in a big way, is a recognition of the fact that so many people do feel like joy is beyond their reach, and so they need to vicariously experience that freedom that they see these other people having. But I think that sort of almost in line with that trend that there's been in the last sort of year or two, I've seen a lot of it on TikTok, of like de-influencing. I think it's worth maybe having a little bit of a cultural seatbelt equipped and cultural pushback to sort of question that automatic, or the automaticness of that framework, and say, well, maybe we can find joy in having a cup of tea in the morning, right? Like maybe we can find joy in just the act of just going to the gym in general. Like, it doesn't have to be that you need to get a crazy body transformation or like these, that, and the others. Maybe it's just being able to go, like being grateful for that and being thankful for that, right? I hate how like a big part of my brain is like, it's all like wishy-washy nonsense. But I think a lot of that is because I grew up sort of dismissing some of those questions in my brain, because I maybe was sort of scared of what those answers actually were, and was conditioned in a big way to focus on achievement and to focus on success and on money and all those sorts of things. But like ultimately, like, does that actually make you happy? Probably not, no. So these are just some existential ramblings from me. If you couldn't tell, I'm also reading some Russian literature right now. And I say if you couldn't tell because all of the stuff that is in my head is being informed by Dostoevsky and Chekhov and the whole gang. I'm chewing through a bit of that sort of material right now, just in my personal reading, and it's making me wonder, man. So this was a little bit of a different video from me, but thought I'd share it, open the floor to a bit of conversation, and I'll be back tomorrow with a video talking about storytelling in Call of Duty Zombies. So if you're interested in seeing that, it's going to be linked on screen right here as soon as I upload it, or you could just subscribe to my channel now so that you get a notification for it, or click the bell even if you really want to go crazy, and then YouTube will send it your way once it gets uploaded. Let me know if you enjoyed this conversation, you want more of this sort of thing, and based on those comments, I'll continue or not. See you next time, folks. Bye for now.